Avodah Zarah Parakol Atzlamim Daf Memches, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Avigail Bas Rivka Batya. We begin with a Mishnah. This Mishnah discusses three different Asheros. Number one planted initially to be an Asherah is prohibited until nullified by a non-Jew. Number two, one trimmed, pruned, or even grafted or layered to worship future growths, they are prohibited. If the idolatrous growths are removed, the tree returns to its original permitted state. Number three, one placed an idol under a tree permanently, it becomes an accessory prohibited until nullified by a non-Jew, or placed there temporarily, the tree not an accessory, once removed, it is permitted. Shmuel states that one who bows to a tree prohibits its new growth. Question: the Mishnah prohibits the tree's new growth only if trimmed or pruned, not just by bowing to it. The answer: the Mishnah reflects the opinion of the Rabbanan who dispute Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. They hold a tree not planted with idolatrous intent, later worshipped, is permitted unless trimmed. However, Shmuel holds, like Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda, just worshipping the tree prohibits its new growth. Question: Rav Ashi suggests both agree the new growths are prohibited. Their dispute concerns the tree. Rabbi Yossi derives from the plural Bashareim Tisrafun Ba'esh to include in the requirement to destroy the tree even one not planted with idolatrous intent. The Rabbanan derive from Ashereim Tigadeun that such a tree only the new growth is cut, but the tree is permitted. The answer: our Mishnah that prohibits new growth of trees, trimmed or pruned, would not follow either opinion. The Rabbanan hold a tree not planted with idolatrous intent, worshipped, new growths are prohibited. Rabbi Yossi holds the whole tree is prohibited. However, the Gemara brings two possible solutions. Number one, the Mishnah follows the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. The whole tree is prohibited bistama, where one did not specify the part of the tree he wants to worship. However, pruning or trimming indicates his desires to worship the new growths, not the tree. Therefore, only the new growths are prohibited. Number two, the Mishnah follows the opinion of the Rabbanan. Not only where he only bowed but did nothing to the tree are only the new growths prohibited, but even where he trimmed or pruned it, only the new growths are prohibited. Now we move on to new Mishnah. This Mishnah teaches the third category of Asherah in the previous Mishnah is disputed. Number one, the Tanakama holds even an idol placed beneath the tree, it is an Asherah prohibited as an accessory. Number two, Rabbi Shimon holds only one worshipped is prohibited. Asherah indicators. Number one, Rav claims priest sitting under a tree not partaking of its fruit. Number two, Shmuel claims it is prohibited, even consumed as beer, by the priests on their holidays. Now we move on to a new Mishnah. This Mishnah discusses laws concerning Asheros. Number one, a tree provides three types of shade. One directly under the tree, one cast by its height, and one cast beyond its height when the sun is low over the horizon. One cannot initially sit in its minimal shade, cast beyond the tree's height, referred to as tzel tzila. Ipso facto, he remains uncontaminated. The same law applies to the shade cast by its height. However, if he sits under the tree, he becomes contaminated. Number two, one who passes beneath an Asherah becomes contaminated. However, if its branches extend over a public thoroughfare, one passing under them does not become contaminated. The reason: an idolatrous offering is assumed to be under the tree. Therefore, one passing beneath contracts tumas ohel. The proof: Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira derives it from the verse Vayitzpedu lebal po'ar, Vayochlu zivchei mesim. An idolatrous offering is compared to the dead to teach it imparts tumas ohel. Question: the Mishnah states ovar. Does this mean that only ipso facto he is not contaminated, but initially he must walk another way? The answer: if there is another route that takes the same amount of time, he should avoid passing underneath the Asherah. Otherwise, he can pass underneath. However, even if there is no other route and Adam Chashuv should pass underneath as quickly as possible. If you're enjoying Daf 5, please click on the link below, subscribe, and become a sponsor. Thank you.